Good morning, guys. This is Danny at Partay. So, wanted to take just a couple of brief moments to clarify the videos that I've uploaded yesterday and what we're going to be doing over the course of a week. So, while I was on vacation, actually it was on Monday, I'd received another request to show all of our lineup. Wanting to clarify, because from the website, we've got Goppity Goop, we've got the screens, and then we've got the Diamante line. So just to clarify, like, what our product offering is going to be, and as well as most of the folks, and I say most, it was probably over the course of the past month, I've received somewhere in the ballpark of about 12 to 15 requests wanting to show the different types of screens in different types of lighting environments. So why is that? Well, it makes perfect sense to me, and this is what we've been saying for some time now. You've got a new generation of projector guys out there, okay, and ladies. As a matter of fact, I would say that some of the ladies are some of the fastest growing in the market. And if you look at the market reports out there from different projector companies, you'll see that that's pretty much the case. It's a fast growing market, especially in the gaming space. So they want to see what it looks like in a brighter environment, because the purpose is to try to get it to look like a television in as bright an environment as you can, right? I mean, that's the ultimate goal here, okay? That's the ultimate goal here. And let me clarify that, because you still have your, I'll refer to them as purist, or, you know, I don't think caver is a good, you know, the best of designations, but you still have folks that they want to use their screen. They want that cinema, like in the theater experience. And see, you've got a whole group of people out here who aren't that way. I don't even like going to the movies, guys. For one, it never looks as good as it does on my personal screen here. Secondly, it's more immersive for me at home. Third, I don't have to deal with a bunch of crowds waiting in line, pay 3 times what I should for, you know, a soft drink and some popcorn. And granted, I know that whenever you're out and you've got a group of people, you can have fun with that. But then when the movie starts, for the most part, you're not talking, right? And then when you get out of the theater, especially if you go, you know, during the daytime, you come back out into the brightness and you're just kind of tired for the rest of the day. So it's just not, that's the effect that it has on me, as well as members of my family. Now, my youngest son loves to go to the movies. My oldest, you know, he could take it or leave it. He'd rather do it here at home. And that's really what it comes down to, is people have different drivers. People have different expectations and different desires when it comes to how they deal with their media. So our focus here has always been on high light. That's why you won't see any screen lighter than the DayStar here in our lineup. You won't, unless we've talked in the past about a Contra Bright. And Contra Bright is something that we're still working on, you know, quietly in the background. And be very transparent with you that the holdup there has been finding an additive that has the diffusion properties that are needed to keep a white screen from completely washing out. Now, we've been able to add additional contrast that we can get, but we still need to balance that with being able to keep the surface from, well, let's just say keep the surface handling light more efficiently than it does on its own. So as we continue to work on that, we'll definitely roll that out and we'll share it with everybody out there. But for right now, you know, it's still in theory. Mathematically, it should be, you know, definitely doable, but that means that you have to find, at least from our perspective, a particle that has the right faceting to be able to perform what you need it to do and give you a specific diffusion pattern. And so we continue. But over the course of this week, now the 3 videos that we've shown, the first one was SIRIUS. That is the SIRIUS Goppity Goop version, okay? And Goppity Goop is not a paint mix. It does not act like a paint mix. It was never designed to act anything. As a matter of fact, it was designed to not be a paint mix, specifically for one purpose. We want to be able to embed depth and not have everything be superficial. In other words, everything happening at the surface. So if you think of it this way, if you have a surface that is just the light hits it and reflects right off, right? If you have a lot of light that hits that surface, it's going to wash a good degree of it away, according to the intensity of the light. With gobbledygook, it's getting a level of transparency that will allow you to take care of the light at the surface, the ambient light at the surface, but still provide your brightness within. And I'll just leave it at that. Brightness within the actual coating itself. So that is, we're going to talk much more about this at the end of the week. But what makes and sets Partey screens apart from anyone that I've seen out there other than your optical screen companies, because that's essentially what we're doing, is we're creating those optical type screens, but we're creating them in either single stage or multi-stage fashion with liquid. That's really what it comes down to. It's a form of liquid plastic or liquid, it's really like liquid polyester, so to speak. So you're trying to do that in a fashion where it will allow you to retain more of your brightness and not lose so much at the surface level. Because of that, SIRIUS does not require 3,000, 3,500, 4,000 lumens to be able to get a good picture. You can get a good picture off easily 1,000 lumens. Caveat: once you introduce light, the amount of light that you introduce could necessitate you having to have a brighter projector. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, that means that if I've got 50 lux on the screen and I've got a 1,000 lumen projector, SIRIUS is going to do beautifully. If that's going to be pretty much the max lux that you're going to have on the wall. If you're going to introduce 200 to 250 or so, you're going to want a brighter projector. You're going to want something in the ballpark of about 3,000 lumens, right? Peak, and that's peak. That's not what you're going to be throwing, whenever you're watching movies and stuff, but roughly about 3,000 peak lumens to be able to overcompensate for the amount of light that's going to be hitting the screen. That's how projection works, guys. So, can you use a lower lumen projector on a black screen? On ours, you can, absolutely. As a matter of fact, if you guys remember, we did a video with a 23 lumen projector from 9.5 feet away. The purpose of that wasn't to say, look how great this image is. If you stop and think about it, you got 23 lumens coming from 9.5 feet away with a lamp over to the side, small lamp, not any massive amount of light, but it still was able to create an image on the black screen at large scale. Okay, we're not talking about a 50-inch image or a 60-inch image. It did it at large scale. Was it the most beautiful image? No, it's 23 lumens. But that in itself is proof positive that this black screen does not absorb light the same way that black paint mixes do. And that's really what it boils down to. Guys, I say it does what it does. And I say that not because I say it, but because it does it. If it didn't do it, I wouldn't say it. You know what you know, you know. So I know that's a bunch of gobbledygook, but the reality is my reputation means more. I'm not going to go out and tell people you could use a 1,000 lumen projector on a black screen, sell them the mix, and then it not work. I'm not going to do that. But that does come with the caveat, and there's actual information that will be out there that'll say, look, if you use a 1,000 lumen projector, don't expect to be able to go outside and get a great image outside, even whenever it's overcast or something. It's just not going to happen because the lux is too high outside. Don't expect to be able to turn on 4,000, 5,000 lumens worth of light in the room and it be able to hold up with a 1,000 lumen projector, at least to the degree that you want it to, because it won't. The black screen is not the problem with the 1,000 lumen projector. Okay, it's inconsequential that the screen's black, other than the fact that it provides the contrast. This screen has been designed to be black, but not really black. And like I've said before, you understand it when you see it. Yes, it's black. Yes, it looks black. But the reality is it's nowhere near as black as it appears, and it absorbs light in a very different way than a black paint mix does. So much less light is absorbed. So you don't need 3,000 lumens to be able to pick up an image on our black screen. And that was the coup de grace. That was everything that we had been shooting for over the course of time. So here's the deal. Over the course of the next week, we're going to be showing DayStar. So I'll probably do DayStar next, and then we'll do Vega. And the reason for that is more than likely, rather than build a separate screen, and I may build a separate screen, but I was thinking about just coating over the SIRIUS one I have here. But just for future purposes, so I can show them, I'll probably go ahead and just make a separate screen at the 100-inch size. I'd done it with the Vega, but I didn't do it with Vega UST, and I want to do it that way too, so that we can show the UST with the Xiaomi here. But anyway, that's what we're going to be focused on over the course of the week, and then we're going to wrap the week up discussing what makes the Partey screens different. Okay, what is it that, about the materials that we use, and what does that get you above and beyond at least most standard paint mixes that I've seen out there. We don't make, like I said, we don't make screens any lighter than the one that you're looking at here. This is the lightest screen in our lineup. It's the lightest screen other than Contra Bright that we would ever offer. And the reason for that is because if I'm going to make a light screen, I would rather recommend to somebody that they go out and buy a 1.3 or 1.4 gain white screen. When you install these things on an ongoing basis, and I'm not saying just go get a white screen. I'm saying if you get a white screen and you're looking to overcome some degree of brightness, but of ambient light, excuse me, but you really want that brightness of a lighter screen, then go with a 1.3 or 1.4 gain white screen, because the additional gain is going to help you overcompensate some of the light in the environment up to a certain amount. But I would still say, once you get up to about 50 lux or more, that screen is going to suffer. It's just going to suffer, and the first thing that's going to go is your contrast. The screen's going to look thin. It might be bright as all get out, but it's going to be a very thin image. It's not going to have much in the way of depth because your contrast is pretty much gone. And some people aren't contrast people. They just want that brightness. They want that halo around. It's just like zing. I'm not. And I know that many of you guys that I've talked to out there are not, because over the course of time, it'll actually just cause eye strain. And it's just harsh to look at. My wife will be the first one to tell you she likes the bright screen, but sometimes in here we have to turn the brightness down on this one because it just gets too dark whenever you're setting with just a single lamp. Too bright, excuse me, when you're setting in just with a single lamp in the room and it's relatively dark. So just wanted to clarify kind of what's going on this week. I'm not going to get into a position where we feel we need to defend anything that we've created here. I think we're past that point. I know we are, at least here on a local level, because everything's zooming along and doing very, very well. We got a lot of things that, we're going to continue to work on. Whether or not some of those ever see the light of day, who knows? We'll see. Just kind of take it day by day, brick by brick, like I said before. But at the end of the day, the stuff works. And that's why we believe enough in it. I've even had some folks out there who've reached out about investment opportunities, wanting to invest. Well, we took on one. I'd mentioned a while back that we had a lady friend who had provided us some seed funds for some of the equipment that we needed for our clean room. And for that, I was very, very thankful. And for that, we've offered up 5% of gross sales over the next 3 years. So, I'm always glad whenever people help, but right now we're at a point where we don't feel we need investment. That may change as we move forward, because we may get into larger marketing campaigns than what we're doing now, especially with the advertising, right? We may take it on a larger scale than just local. So we'll see, and we'll see what the costs associated with that are. But as time goes on, we're in it to win it, brother. That's all I can tell you is, we love being a part of the community out here on YouTube. But this is, to me, this is always, and I've always said, this is bigger than YouTube. YouTube was just a platform for us to be able to capture our journey. because I want it documented so that we can go back and pluck whatever videos we want of our journey along the way and be able to use that. Plus it's there for posterity, for our family, and all that kind of stuff. So this is less about a sales platform for me and more about just being able to share the excitement of projection and the excitement of the things that we discover along the way. So I know this was a long video. Apologize for the pontification, but just want to clarify for people out there that, you know, you're not going to see anything here that's going to be underhanded. You're not going to see anything here or hear anything here that is not going to be factually relevant unless I state its opinion. And I try to always, and if I ever do, feel free to call me out on it. I want you to, because if it's opinion, I want to make sure that I clarify for folks out there that it is opinion. All right, so enough about all that. I'll be posting the videos a little later this week. You guys take care, and we will talk to you soon.